So this is a video on why you need a call center in your agency in 2025. Now, you might be wondering what a call center is. You might not even know that because it's kind of like a gate kept secret amongst the SMMA elites. So if you look at the biggest agencies in the space, Stevie Johnston and Charlie Morgan, etc., the people that, either run one currently or did run one in the past, almost all of them had a call center in their agency. So Stevie, his agency helps Cairo and dentists, blah blah blah, and you know they actually did like 600K a month for the longest time, and they have a call center calling every single lead. Now, how does it work? So most agencies just run ads. They'll put up an ad and they'll give a lead list from the lead form to the company, and the small business need to basically rely on the receptionist to call every single person and schedule them in. And so essentially, they're betting their client's ROI on the front desk of the small business. Now, if you're anything like me and you've been inside a small business, you know that doesn't really work out. The receptionist has a fuck ton of things to do. They need to do admin, HR, hiring, talk to suppliers, basically be the face of the business when the owner's not there. And so if you think about an average ad, if you're spending $50 a day and your cost per lead is $5, you're generating $10 a day, 10 leads a day. Therefore, your weekly lead flow is 70. That means there's a minimum of 70 dials every single week. It's going to be more than that because you're going to be double dialing, triple dialing on a daily basis. So, your calls could get up to like 300, 400, 500 a week alongside these other tasks that they have to do, really. So, it becomes a blame game where the agency blames the front desk for not calling the lead, the front desk and the owners say they can't, and then the front desk blames the agency for giving really poor quality leads. And so, you know, even besides blaming each other, the front desk is generally shit at calling leads, anyways, because they're not really sales trained, and oftentimes they lack the motivation to make consistent calls all the time, every day, and therefore the important things in calling, such as tonality, and having a persuasive personality and script, go out the window. And I've seen it where I've been inside of a small business and the front desk has given a lead list, and then they're calling like this: "Hi, it's Emily from ABC Construction. How are you doing?" Like, it's robotic, and that does not work. You may as well not call at all. And plus, they don't have the correct tools to be making mass calls. It's not really efficient to sit there with your phone the whole day and typing in every single number and giving them a ring. So, what's the solution? So, the solution is to take it on yourself to handle the follow up and bookings if you're in a service based business. So, obviously, if your agency is for e-com, you don't have to do that. But if you're in a service based business, you can either get a call center, so people in a developing country to do it, or you can get a AI agent to do it. So AI agents work decently well. We've tried it in house and they work okay, especially if there's no deposit being taken. If there's a deposit being taken, it's a bit trickier. But we've found AI, actual people, we call them our CBAs, customer booking agents, work tremendously well. So if you're in a service-based business, so hairstylists, mechanics, home improvement, vets, where people are going to attend an appointment, whether that's in their house or elsewhere, it works tremendously well to have a dedicated CBA calling every single lead. Now, why this is good is because everything becomes your responsibility and you have no one else but to blame if you don't produce ROI. It's either your ads are shit or your follow up is shit, but basically, you live by the sword and die by the sword, and everything becomes your responsibility. And so, if you kill it, great, and if you do poor, it's a reflection on you. You no longer have an out to blame the client, the front desk. Hey, you're not calling the leads, blah blah blah. Right? It's a tale as old as time, and this is the solution. And you know, Sam Ovens and Jeff Bezos, two really great entrepreneurs in respective fields, have both said that you should eat your customer's complexity. So anytime that your customer has to do excessive steps to reach their desired outcome, you should take those steps upon yourself and make them reach the outcome in the easiest way, fastest way, most simple way possible, and they will stick around. And so, in terms of Amazon, what that looked like was, if people were struggling to do payments, they made their own payment processing. If people were struggling to host things, they made their own AWS. If people were struggling with delays and delivery times, they created fulfillment networks. They bought thousands of ships and thousands of trucks and stuff to actually help with their shipping, to make sure their shipping is one day, right? Eating their customers' complexity along every single step of the journey. Now, what do call centers actually do in SMMA? They call all leads near instantly to take a deposit if required in the niche. So, in certain niches, it's very important to have a deposit, especially if it's some kind of either professional services or bodily services. Um, and then schedule appointments via text. Now, why are call centers good? First and foremost, it's a USP. Not very few people do it, and very few people do it well, still today. And so that means it's a selling point, and therefore you have a higher conversion rate on your sales calls. Secondly, it's tracked ROI. So therefore, if the customer comes up to you, if your clients come up to you like, hey, how much money did you make us? You have numbers there because you track it to a T, and therefore you have lower churn. And typically, because you're going to do a better job than the front desk, that means you're going to have a higher ROI. And so, therefore, another reason for lower churn. The third reason is there's asymmetric upside. So, because you can charge more and it costs you relatively not that much, maybe $1,000 a month, it means overall you're going to spend 1,000, but you're going to make maybe 5,000 extra from your clients. And obviously, you have premium pricing because it's USP, and you're doing more for them. It's real done for you. You're doing almost everything for them. So, Dan Kennedy came up with this concept of how to grow a business, and there being three ways to grow the business. So, increasing the number of customers, getting the customers to buy more often, and then increasing the average order value, right? These are the three ways to grow any business. And a call center ensures each of these three ways. So, firstly, if you increase the number of customers, it will grow the business because obviously you have more people paying you. And so, in a call center, because it's a really good offer and because it's a unique selling point, it's very easy for you to increase the number of customers because people haven't seen it before, typically. And that's good because then it's easy to sell them, right? We're taking more of their burden and their workload off them and just directly giving them the outcome. And so there are less steps in the way of their ad spend and then them making money. So that's the first reason. It's easy to sell them, so therefore higher number of customers. Number two, get the customers to buy more often. So, if you have a call center, then you can add a commission component into your offer, and therefore they're paying you more often. And then the third reason is because you have a call center and you're handling more of the problem for the client, you can actually charge more. So your average order value and your monthly retainers are going to be much higher than just a simple lead gen agency. Now, why are call centers bad? Plenty of reasons. So first and foremost, you're handling people, and typically more people means more headaches. And every time you add a body into the organization, it typically leads to more headaches because there is some kind of human dependency on them. If they leave, then you're screwed. I've had two agents leave this summer, and I was screwed because I had to go back into service delivery myself. And it's a nightmare to basically onboard them. It's a nightmare to train them. And the moment you have a call center, you actually start having headaches with A2P, which is the verification you need to actually make calls and text in America. And yeah, without a call center, you don't really need A2P. And at the core of it, a call center, if you think about it logically, a call center is another business in and of itself. And so you're basically running two, maybe three businesses, right? Right now, it's like we have a creative team, we have the actual media buying team, and then we have a call center team. So, in essence, you could call it three businesses. And so it's tricky and it's a lot of work, but it's very, very rewarding. Now, how to build one? It's a lot of work, and you need SOPs, job postings, scripts, training videos. You need all of these stuff to give to your agents, and that's if you can recruit them well and you figure out to compensate them. So if you want me to make a video on how we actually recruit agents, train them up, get them ramped up, because it's hard to make them within KPI, get them ramped up, what software we use, how we bill, how we pay, everything like that, drop a comment and I'll make that video. Until next time, have a good one.